Hey everybody. So I just wanted to make this video, just a comment about uh, Final Fantasy 13. Pretty sore topic for a lot of people. There are apparently two camps. People who absolutely despise it, and people who enjoy it. I'm of the camp that enjoys it. Now, that's not to say that there are things about it that I don't like about it, but let's just say that there are more things that I like about it than I dislike about it. Things that I dislike about it. Yeah, the first game, 13, was kind of linear, but if you think about it, weren't most of the Final Fantasies linear to an extent? I mean, sure, there was a world map and you could go back and forth, but their game design pretty much made you go from point A to point B all the way up until the very end, pretty much. Which, in 13's case, would be Grand Pulse. Uh, I'll just take 4 for example, or yet 6 for example. Final Fantasy 6, well, and 7, I guess. 6 and 7 had these gigantic, beautiful world maps. And you could go anywhere once you got the airship, and even before that, you could pretty much explore the world. But even in the end, in those two games, there was a point A to point B type system. And I don't know what to say else about that, but that's how most JRPGs run. Um, so the linearity argument is kind of valid, considering that also most 3D JRPGs tend to have the more enhanced, I guess, it's more pronounced that they're linear as opposed to the 16 and 32-bit area JRPGs, you know? As for the story, well, I'm gonna admit, it is kind of confusing. But if you look at the mythos and if you pay attention to the characters and what people say and the NPCs around, and if you just look at the world in general, the game makes sense in itself, but at the same time, it does not do a good job of explaining itself very much. I mean, you've got in the first game, you've got the fal'Cie as gods and the sea as their pawns, but no one really knows or tells you about Cocoon's fal'Cie or Cocoon's l'Cie. The only two Cocoon l'Cie you ever hear about are Sid Raines and Dodge. And we all know what happens to Dodge. His focus is, well, his power is to locate Pulse l'Cie. However that happens, he can do it. And Sid Raines, well, apparently he's been on the sea for a long time, and we don't even know his focus. But in the end, he turns Seath and, well, dies. But yeah. And as for the whole party defying their focus, I mean, it kind of wasn't doing that because they still ended up dooming Cocoon in the end. I mean, it didn't fall, but you know, it still became semi-uninhabitable and always precariously ready to fall at any time under Yeul and Fang's Crystal Pillar, which we'll get to that in some other points. Let's see. Let's just store for a second. Okay. Now, as to the main party, Lightning, everyone's favorite antagonist to love or hate, or love to hate. Lightning is kind of cold. We know this. She's cold. She doesn't go through much character developments, and well, she does a little bit. I mean, thanks to Hope. But you know, she's cold, strict to the point, focused on her tasks at hand. Kind of person most people kind of aspire to be, you know, in this society anyway. Just get things done. As she says, some things in life you just do. and I wish more of us would take that into consideration. Yeah, ironically, I've had a crush on Lightning since I first saw her character, and when I played, I can't play through the game since I don't have a PlayStation, but from what I would see on streams and videos, I like her character. She's a strong woman. She's very attractive, and has she has a heart, but she doesn't show it all that often. And she stays true to herself, which I admire. Now, Vanille, the first antagonist, well, people love to hate Vanille. I don't know whether it's her voice or her demeanor, but she is who she is, and going in an unbiased position where she's coming from, you gotta understand how that's why she is bearing hundreds of years of guilt. It can wear down on somebody, even hundreds of days or minutes. It sucks. Feeling guilty sucks. Let's see. Sad's motivation is his son. He just wants his son to be safe, and he's kind of the bad character of the party. He has his moments in the story, but other than that, you don't really hear much about him. Snow, oh God, Snow, the hero. We'll just say the tough guy. Actually, the character thing is kind of pointless. You can watch him play for yourself. When 13.2 comes along, and not related to the story at all. The first story. I mean, it's kind of what happens after Cocoon is saved, and how some of the residents make a new town and whatnot. Time travel. It's a good not to Chrono Trigger, but I'm not sure that's what their intentions were. Yeah. Little paradox things. They kind of made sense, but some of them were just outlandish and crazy. I don't know. Noel as a character, he was kind of good. Standard JRPG hero type man. But, it was a nice change of pace to have a somewhat more manly looking pretty boy than a lot of the latest JRPG male protagonists. And Sarah, was a kind of throw left field there character. But hey, what they did, so she developed quite a bit. Lightning, it's the same. She was still kind of cold, but very focused. They changed her outfit. Hey, done us to death. Good times. Caius and Yeul, and that was a story in itself. Very confusing. It was mostly told from Caius' point of view and not from Yeul's. And we all kind of assume that Caius is this big bad, and he just wants to destroy time so he can save his precious lady. Which is true, but he comes from a really dark place where he's immortal and he can't die. What would you do if you lived for millennia and watching the person you care about die and become reborn over and over and over again? That's just torture. Which we come to Lightning Returns now. Although, before that, I just want to say that from what I saw in 13.2, they really improved from 13. Combat system was kind of faster, the music was very, very, the environments were kind of cool. They were less linear, and the fact that you can go back and forth at will. But again, there was still a point A to point B aspect of it, and blah blah blah. It was less pronounced, let's put it that way. It was good. They really improved a lot of the formula from 13, and a lot of the complaints people had. Excuse me. Now on to Lightning Returns. They really shifted the paradigm, pun intended. The world is completely open. There's no more roles, and it kind of went back to the like 6 and 7 and 8 way of doing things, where You could have any skill with any stats, pretty much. You can grow lightning as you see fit. Yeah, the world is completely open. Although, it took away the experience points in favor of like a questing-based system, which kind of mimicked the experience-based because of how you would complete the quest. You would have to fight monsters anyway, so collect the items and whatnot. So, that's different. And an MMO-ish. Some folks liked it, some folks hated it. Of course, both camps. From what I've seen, I'm in the middle ground where I understand where going for, but I don't know. I would have to actually play it to give a full opinion on that. Also, from what I've seen, it tends to be more of a skill-based combat system versus like the 13-13-2 paradigms and the automatic NPC roles where you would pick your paradigms for each character's class and have them do automatic commands. And Lightning Returns, you are in full control. You can move around, you have to pick commands to fight and block and dodge. It's kind of cool, actually, and every enemy has its own stagger conditions versus, well, being Ravagers and all that good stuff. You have to think. You have to be prepared for everything. A lot of the characters, their stories kind of wrap up, which is nice. Lightning Returns does a good job of wrapping up their stories, however convoluted they are, and however convoluted the actual game itself can be as well. But in the end, you can see where they're all going. It's nice. Like definitive ends, which is a nice change of pace. You've got some plot twists, and you've got plot twists within plot twists, and I don't know. Something I kind of liked was how the god Bonavelza, which was mentioned in the mythos of Fabula Nova Crystallis, but was only ever introduced in Lightning Returns. Bonavelza awakened lightning, took away her emotions, and somehow they become part of Lumina. Spoiler alert, sorry. But yeah, takes away hopes and lightning's emotions, and the voice actors do a good job of conveying that. Even when they have lightning try to like show some gusto and like anger and feelings, she has to not be emotional at the same time to try and be emotional, like with her scenes with Snow and Noel and Sarah. Well, Sarah's image. But yeah, Odin and Caius. Caius comes back, of course. He can't die. He's that's a spoiler too, but Caius can't die. Let's put it that way. And that's because of the Great Chaos, which I'll spoil again, is Yeul. You finally see her side of the story. Yeah. I don't know, I mean, Lightning Returns is very unforgiving in terms of gameplay, but at the same time, it's very fulfilling from what I've seen. I don't know. Again, your mileage may vary. This is just my opinions on the things. But from an unbiased standpoint, you're going to either love it or you're going to hate it. As is most things in the world. The 13 haters of the game, Final Fantasy 13, and its world, its characters, they're really vocal. And the people who enjoy it tend to not be so much, but, they get shut it down, don't want to come back up, so people like it in silence. That's okay. There's going to be vocal fans and haters of everything. But, yeah. Incoherent as this might be, that one of my thoughts on the Final Fantasy 13 universe, characters, story, how it's all going to end up. And my hope for 15, however it ends up. Well, actually, I just call it versus 13, but they calling it 15. My hope for that game is that it takes away from the bittersweetness that was the 13 world and establishes itself as a decent game where more people can be open-minded and either not vehemently hate it or, love it, but, just to be good, like 6 was. People like 6. There aren't that many haters of 6. 4 was beloved by most, and people love 7. I'll give it that much. 7 was a good game. People praise it as like the golden chalice of Final Fantasy, but hey, that's what they think. Some people love it, and the ones who don't, well, hey, that's them. I don't think it was a golden chalice. I mean, I wish I would actually stop calling it things like that. Hey, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15. Hope it ends up well. I probably won't be playing it as I don't have a PS4, but yeah, I just hope that it's a success and that the brand can continue onwards. Because I've been a fan. Final Fantasy got me into gaming, the first one, and I've been hooked since 1 and 4 and 6, and I hope it continues to go onwards to get more people involved in gaming as it did for me. So that's my thoughts. Thank you very much for watching, and next time, y'all have a good time, and see you again.